It's the card of the week.
Yay!
It is the card of the week, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Finally.
My favorite card of the week.
Your favorite card of the week.
It's not.
It's not.
But it's a good card.
I like this card.
Yeah.
I like this card for one reason. Well, I think I like this card just because this was a pet card in like my lands.
He only has one reason as to why he likes this card, no other.
Yeah. But this was one of my pet cards in my lands deck for Magic. So it is a Magic the Gathering card. It is a land. The land is Deserted Temple. It is a land where it has the ability, you can tap it to add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool. Not that great, right? Not that great.
Card's bad.
Card's bad. But it has another ability. You can pay 1 and tap it to untap target land.
Ooh.
So it's just an untapper, right?
Yeah.
The ability to untap your land. So
and a combo enabler.
Correct. Big combo enabler. Very, very big combo enabler. So, like, if you can untap, say, a land that, I don't know, like a Cabal Coffers, where you can tap it for a lot of black mana.
A lot of mana.
Or a Gaia's Cradle, or a flipped Azcanta.
Man, yes, please.
There's so many uses for Deserted Temple.
Yeah.
Right. It's just it initially, like, I thought it was like it was a very innocuous card, right? And I'm just like, I looked at it and I'm like, oh, this is just like, why would I do this? But then when I started playing a lot of lands matter synergies, and just that resource manipulation, I'm like, oh man, there's a lot, so much potential here, so much potential. And then when you just learn about like your triggered abilities, where like when a land enters the battlefield or something, you can untap a land off of like a certain triggered effect, right? And then in response to it, you tap itself, and then you tap this to untap it, but then you can untap this and then tap it again. There's so many different things. And one of the things that like helped me as a player, like learning the stack, right? And how to manipulate it. It really kind of started with these lands decks for me.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Because like the question that you're trying to answer is, what line can I do that's going to provide me with the most amount of mana possible? Yeah. And a lot of times that involves manipulating the stack, manipulating your cards in one way or another, right?
If you're new to Magic, learn the stack. It's the most important thing you can do in the game.
It absolutely is. 100%. So yeah, Deserted Temple, seemingly innocuous card, but can be very powerful.
Oh yeah.
Can be very powerful in the right shell.
Yeah.
Like even just the ability just to untap something that generated 10 mana for you is huge. Like that will not be downplayed, right? But if you can turn that into, you tap it, pay 1, tap it to untap something. In response, you tap that other thing, and then you tap this other artifact, and then untaps this Deserted Temple. Yeah. And then you're able to tap your largest mana producing land over and over and over and over again. Yeah. It's just, it's great.
You could even untap a man land and either block with it or, activate it now for mana, or, if it is worth it at that point, probably not, because you're paying the 2 mana essentially. But if you do need colored mana, it could possibly be worth it, because that thing only does produce the colorless.
Correct. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Or if you have a lot of blockers that are somehow lands, and then your opponent thinks everything's untapped, or tapped, and then they swing, and then you're able to untap something to then be able to block with it. Yeah. Like you can catch your opponent by surprise in some things.
What's the is it Dryad Arbor?
Yeah, Dryad Arbor.
Dryad Arbor. Love that card. And if you are hiding it from your opponent, just chilling in the back row, And it's you're fully tapped except for 2 lands, and you're like, I got nothing on board, man. What are you gonna do to me? And then you're like, oh, let's untap my creature, go into block.
Yep.
Which they had to do a ruling on that. You can't be hiding that card.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
The only thing you can have in line with your lands are your lands. So when other people also put the artifact, the mana rocks in there, I'm like, you shouldn't be doing that, but like, we're not in tournaments, so I don't really care. I just don't want you to get used to that.
Right.
Because it's not how it's supposed to be.
Right. Keep all your different card types separate from your lands.
Yes.
Okay. Your lands are special. Treat them that way. Like this one. It's special.
Like that one.
It's very special. So
yeah, it's not basic.
It's not basic. Although it could be basic with this one new card.
That's not the card of the week.
No,
Dan.
it's not the card of the week. Okay, it's not the card of the week.
Yeah, I know about it, Dan. I know about this stupid card.
Oh my goodness, I have to find it real quick. I gotta find this thing. Where did I put this? It's somewhere, guys. Here it is. New release. Okay. The artwork on it is sick. Okay. It's called Root Path Purifier. 3 and a green for an elf druid. 3/4. Lands you control and land cards in your library are basic. You know why that's powerful?
How is that powerful?
Because you can find non-basics when you crack a
fetch.
Any fetch.
Any fetch.
And literally any fetch.
Cultivate.
You can cultivate to find any land. Any land. Not just basic lands. When the cards that say search your library for a basic land and put it on the battlefield tapped, that now includes every single land card. Everything.
So now you can go find 2 fetch lands to then crack those 2, and now you decked in 4 cards.
Yeah. It's when I saw that card, I'm like, what now? Excuse me.
You know why I really hate it?
Me?
Price for progress or price of progress. Deal 2 damage to your opponent for each non-basic land that they have. They're all basics. They're all basics. And not to mention Blood Moon.
Yeah, Blood Moon
is just like,
exactly.
I guess I got nothing.
I guess I got nothing now.
Oh my god. Oh, did you see that 7-drop from Brother?
From Brother.
It's whatever the news said.
Brothers War. Yeah, right.
It's a 7-drop, 7 attack, 5 toughness, and it kind of reminds me of Worm Coil Engine, but it's not. So it's like when it dies, it has ward, deal damage to player or target equal to its power. And it's a 7 attack for 7 mana. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, dude, this is great for Tron.
Phyrexian Fleshgorger.
Yeah, that's it.
A 7/5 artifact creature Phyrexian Worm with prototype.
Yes.
So it says prototype 1 and 2 black for 3/3. Prototype is you may cast this spell with different mana cost, color, and size. It keeps its abilities and types. Okay. But it also has Menace and Lifelink with Ward, pay life equal to Phyrexian Fleshgorger's power.
So good.
Oh, wow.
Dude, it's so good, man.
Wow.
I love this card.
With Menace and Lifelink?
It's like a little bit like the
Worm Coil Engine?
Worm Coil
Yeah, it's kind of like
a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't turn into the, like the 2 little worms that are 3/3s.
Correct.
And have either Death Touch or Lifelink, where this one does have Menace. So it does take 2 things to block it, but it still has the Lifelink.
Yeah.
And if you ever target it with anything to where the Worm Coil, its defense it sprouts into 2 little ones.
Yeah.
Where this one is just like, you're going to eat 7 damage. Is it any target or is it face?
Huh?
The damage.
Ward, pay life equal to Phyrexian Fleshgorger's power.
Okay, so they have to pay.
You have to pay life. You got to pay life points for it. Yes, correct.
Right. So it's amazing because it's just like, all right, well, if you do try to kill it, you're still eating 7 damage.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
so
love this card. It's going in Tron.
Yeah. So that we got sidetracked a little bit, but that was this week's card of the week.
What was the card? Deserted Temple.
Deserted
Yes,
Temple. Yes,
that's the one.
Yeah. So got a little talk about Magic in for the day. So